Welcome to Far Eastern University and welcome to the land of the Tamaraws. I am Dr. Sheila Marie Sheikh Hoxan and I am your guidance director for Far Eastern University. So my segment for today, it's all about handling mental health during the pandemic. Our situation is what they call the age of disruption, where everything was really disrupted. From the traditional, now we have what they call the online learning, okay? We also were pushed and coerced to really go for really 100% of online learning, where we also go for Canvas, for Zoom, for WebEx, Teams, and a lot more of applications. And this is also what they call the VUCA world, no? When you talk about VUCA, V stands for volatility, that everything was really abrupt, okay? U stands for uncertainty. Everything was really uncertain and we are not aware when it will be finished, okay? C stands for complex. Everything that happened to us was not really simple. From the first wave of physical problems, we are now on the second wave of financial concerns, especially among Filipino families. And of course, the third wave can be mental health problems. And what happened to all of us also was also what they call ambiguous, okay? So in order for us to fight VUCA, wherein we have the tendency to become fragile, we have to go for what they call agility. From V of volatility, we have to have the vision of a Tamaraw, that we have to be brave in these times of pandemic. We have to also have what they call the U for understanding our thoughts, our feelings, our behavior, and our actions, and of course, our character of bravery, of course, of F for fortitude, E for excellence, and U for definitely rightness, especially in these times of confusion. We also have to have what they call the clarity of our vision and purpose, why we are here as a Tamaraw, of course, for us to finish, and of course, for us to also help our families, and of course, for us to help also our nation, for nation building. And of course, we will have what they call the agility. Okay, so for being fragile, we have to have what they call the learning agility and learning humility of a Tamaraw. So what happened to us was really what they call in social psychology affects the kind of environment that we have, really affects the kind of behavior that we have, which is definitely rooted from our thoughts, from our feelings, and our behavior. And we will also have the tendency to be shattered because of the situation that happened. And the thing that happened to us was also what? It also affected not only us, but also it also affected our family, of course, our school, FEU family, our environment. Of course, our environment is also composed now of our technology, our globalization, our pandemic, and prior to this event is what you call a lot of negative experiences that we also had. And it affects the thoughts, the belief, okay, the feelings, our behavior, and of course, this is also what you call our attitude, which is also composed of our psychological well-being. In order for us to be psychologically well, we also have to have what they call the healthy mind, the healthy heart, and of course, the healthy behavior and character. And it also affects what? Our physical, our mental, our social, academic, career, family, and for those who are what they call anchoring themselves to a supreme being, there's also what they call the spiritual well-being. So there should be a balance of everything in order for us to have the right attitude of being a Tamaraw, especially in these times of pandemic, and for us to have what they call the holistic psychological well-being. And this is also anchored with the study of the Digital Wellness Center, wherein in order for us to also flourish in this digital life that we are experiencing, being flourishing is what they call being free or preventing mental health problems. So we also have what they call, have to have a good health in our mental, of course, in our physical health, in our feelings, in our productivity, in our purpose, in our meaning as a daughter and sons of your family or your loved ones, as an FEU student now. Okay? And of course, one of the most important things that we are also advocating now in the FEU family, because this is definitely a high-tech school that we also have to take care of our digital engagement, our digital foundations, that we also have to be digitally literate, and we also have to protect ourselves from what we call digital wellness. And one of the things, in order for us to really fight, no, and be resilient in these times of pandemic, is we have to focus on our strengths. What is what we call strengths? Okay? Strengths is composed of our individual strengths. These are the strengths that we have, our potentials, our abilities, our talents, our personal qualities, that we are beautiful and handsome, and of course, our interests and aspirations. Maybe some of you entered into communications, maybe some of you entered into sciences, into nursing, and these are also anchored with the different interests. So as you go for your individual strengths, we have to combine it with what you call our resources. And our resources can be our family, our loved ones, our FEU family now, our Tamaraw community, and of course, our social networks and the many opportunities that we have. So if we combine both strengths of individual and environmental strengths, then we can have what we call a healthy psychological well-being in the 8 inseparable areas of our lives, especially in your academic, in your personal, in your finances, even in your sexuality, and even in your spirituality. And of course, it will have will give you a desired result to be resilient, and it will also definitely give you opportunities to be successful as a Tamaraw. And what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you talk about strength, or what can be a symbol? Okay? So can you somewhat think of a symbol or somewhat a word that comes to your mind when you talk about strength? Okay? So in positive psychology, strength is what you call the built-in capacities that you have, coming from your what? And emanating from your thoughts, your healthy feelings, and your healthy behavior. That can be your attitude, and that can be a gauge for psychological well-being in the study of Siegel 2020. Okay? And it also talks about the capacity to manifest energy, and that is rooted from fortitude. Okay? Being resilient in times of what? In times of trial, especially in COVID situation and pandemic, the capacity to endure, the capacity to resist all types of temptations, to withstand great force or pressure, and of course to do things that need a lot of physical and mental effort, as we are facing online learning through Canvas, through the assistance of our mentors, our Tamaraw teachers. Other meaning of strengths is what we call the capacity to manifest energy, which is anchored with one of the FEU core values, which is what we call fortitude, okay? Or what we call resiliency in times of adversity. It is also the capacity to endure, to resist, and to withstand great force or pressure, especially that we have a lot of distractions in the online learning. We also have to do things that need a lot of physical and mental effort in order for us to focus our attention into our online learning. Strength is also what we call the strong attributes or assets that we have. And strengths are also what? Composed of various forms. And these are what we call first, our interests. So what are your interests, which can definitely be your strength in times of pandemic? So one of my interests is what we call the youth empowerment. Okay? And most of the people now are also what? In these times of pandemic, they also cling to a lot of interests that they also develop, like baking, like gardening, like digital marketing, technology, etc. Okay, so if you are having mental health problems or attacks or nervousness, or you are feeling sad, then you can definitely lean on and focus on your interests. Next is what are your skills? Okay? So maybe your skills can definitely be your interest, and one of my interests is also into photography. Okay? It can be a subject about people, a subject about moving. Okay? It can be a subject about the environment that can also help you to also be having the strength in these times of pandemic. And of course, my advocacy. My advocacy, it's all about well-being. It's all about child protection. And it's also about psychological well-being. And what are your resources? What are your resources? What are your gifts? Next. And one of that is what you call your loved ones, your family, or maybe your service, and also what you call your friends. And of course, my strength is also my FEU family, our students, our colleagues, and of course, my FEU Guidance and Family, wherein you can also meet them online in August. These are your institute, they're your different institute counselors who will definitely assist you through our tele-wellbeing. And this is the formula of strength, especially in these times of pandemic, that in order for us to be resilient in these times of pandemic, we really have to use and know our strengths. And the formula of strength, just like in mathematics, is what you call talent. Your talent is what you call your thoughts, your natural way of your thinking, your feeling, and behaving. Then you multiply it by your what? Your purposeful intention to develop that healthy thoughts, your healthy feeling, and your healthy behavior in order for us to have the totality of strength. What is that again? It's talent, anchored with your thoughts, your feelings, your behavior that can be a character of a brave Tamaraw. And of course, what you call your investment, which is what you call your purposeful intention to really practice, develop, and build so that you can have what you call your strength. It is the ability to constantly provide near perfect performance. So one also of the strengths, in order for us not to be shocked in technology, is what you call having the digital citizenship, and well-being pillars. So for us not to also have problems with our academic, we also have to have the digital foundation. We have to also have what you call the digital wellness, digital engagement, healthy digital engagement. We also have to have the digital empowerment, and of course, create a lot of digital opportunities for you to be equipped as you go in August, especially in FEU. And always remember, according to Greg Norman, that you have to know your strengths and take advantage of them. Me, as a psychologist and counselor, I do hope that we don't focus on our weaknesses. Our weaknesses can only be a data for us. It can only be a data for us to learn, but we have first to focus on our strengths. Because what we are experiencing now is definitely what? It's definitely an abnormal situation that cannot definitely help our thoughts, our feelings, and our behavior. So now that you are aware of your strengths, which is definitely coming from your what? From your talent, you multiply it by your investment, and that is what you call your strength as a Tamaraw, rooted from your family, from your thoughts, your feelings, and of course, your behavior and your intention to really practice, to focus, and develop. So, in collaboration with the Unilab Foundation, and of course the FEU Guidance and Counseling family, together with the FEU peers, collaborated to make the 10 little ways to build resilience in the time of pandemic. So one of the steps that we have is what we call being aware of your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. Number 2, be confident with your abilities, your interests, your talents, and your potentials that you have. Number 3 is, of course, control, knowing the right choices that you have by weighing the pros and cons of the situations that you are experiencing. Number 4, building on your character strength. Your character strength of becoming resilient, anchored by fortitude. Of course, E for excellence, U for uprightness, and of course, you have to have what they call the totality of brave mind, brave heart, brave feelings, and brave character of a Tamaraw. Okay? Of course, we also have to be competent, in all the strengths, abilities, and skills that we have by practicing, having the intention to develop it, and of course, having the focus, especially in August. Coping, we also have to focus on healthy coping. It can be on mindfulness, it can be on yoga, sleeping on time, eating the right food, of course, eating nutritious food, etc. And of course, connections, connecting to the right people, maybe your family, if your family is not with you, your loved ones, of course, your co-tamaraws, of course, your mentors here at the FEU family. Of course, contribute. Contribute by becoming a blessing to every people, online and offline. You have to be an inspiration. You have to be an influencer. And you have to be an enabler as what? As a model of fortitude, excellence, and uprightness, and of course, bravery. Of course, education. Educate yourself about well-being and about mental health. And of course, I do hope at the end of this little activity that we have, I do hope that we also be what? An advocate of mental health and an example and an absolute truth of having the right attitude of a tamaraw and having a healthy psychological well-being. So this is the toolkit that we developed, and in the canvas, when we upload this, we will also give you the link for you to also practice the different steps, the 10 little ways to build resilience. Okay? And if you have some classmates or friends that are experiencing also mental health problems or are somewhat anxious or sad or lonely and worried, especially in these times of pandemic, you can always refer them to us by our online counseling through tele-well-beings. These are some of the signs and symptoms. If they are somewhat having some absenteeism online, lack of energy and fatigue, sleepiness, or maybe there are some tendencies to be insomniac or somewhat hypersomic. Hypersomnia is sleeping too much, okay? And other mental health concerns that really affect their day-to-day living, then you can definitely go to https, okay, bit.ly, okay, FEU Telewellbeing, and you can definitely talk to your counselors, to your respective institute counselors through FEU GNC Online Guidance Telewellbeing. And we are definitely with you to have a flourishing and brave life in the life, okay, that you will have 4 or 5 years in FEU. So we are not just more of the achievement of a person, and we are not just more on the cognitive life of the individual, but we are also what? On the social emotional learning, on the character, okay? So we don't only believe in IQ, but we also believe in emotional quotient. We also believe in what? In character strengths. We also believe in social quotient. We also believe in digital quotient. And we also believe in diversity quotient. We are definitely inclusive also in FEU. That's why this is one also of the happiest universities wherein you will definitely belong. In order for you to have a flourishing life to prevent mental health problems. So we are definitely for the holistic well-being of all FEU family, and you are definitely important to us. So once again, welcome to Far Eastern University. We are happy and thank you for choosing us. This is from your dear Tamaraw FEU Guidance and Counseling, and of course, peer facilitators family. God bless you all.